Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in your day. Welcome to Wealth Reimagined on the Family Bloodline Network. I'm your host, Maya Kay, and welcome back. I am super excited to be back and to get this ball rolling. I hope everybody's had a great week and that you've, been thinking about your money. We are past April 30th at this point. And that means that if you joined us during Financial Literacy Month, then you at this point should be pretty organized when it comes to your finances, right? So I hope that's where you are. If not, go back and watch those episodes that we were able to put out for Financial Literacy Month and get caught up, catch up with where we are. So hopefully that is where you. Let me see. I'm trying to learn how to use these different things so I could get the things that come up on the screen. So I hope you had a good weekend and you're ready to step into some more financial literacy, personal financial tips, things that help you get your money on track, your financial goals on track. And so why not, jump back into that budget? We talked about the third week of Financial Literacy Month. We talked about different types of budgets. But I don't know where you are with your budget per se. I don't know if you are upside down with your budget, meaning you have more debt, you have more things going out, you have more expenses than you do income, or if you are looking pretty solid where you have money that you didn't even know you had and don't have anything assigned to it exactly. So wherever you are, one thing I think that we all have in common that we are currently experiencing right now is just the pinch with the economy, the pinch with inflation. Let's just say it, the pinch with the gas prices. Gas prices are out of control right now. And so one thing that I can say about budgeting in these situations, me being someone who regularly does a budget, I do a budget every time I get paid, or I should say I have a budget. I have a spending plan every time I get paid. Even if I get some unexpected money, some unexpected check in the mail, sometimes, you get those with your insurance. Even if it's something like that, I have a plan for that, or I make a plan for it if it's unexpected. So one thing I can say for myself is, though I think it's going to change often, I already can tell what adjustment I have to make to my gas budget. Let's talk about gas right now, right? Even though the cost of everything is up, the cost of food, the cost of beef, the cost of seafood, probably depending on where you are in the country, the cost of all goods. I was just trying to replace some bleach the other day. Bleach is expensive. When did bleach get expensive? I just want to disinfect my house. I want to make sure stuff is clean. And even bleach is high. So what I can say, going back to what I was getting ready to say, with the spending plan and me already having a budget in place, I can already see where I need to increase. For example, gas. I got to increase how much I allot for my gas monthly or per pay period. Also, while I have tried not to up my grocery, I have upped my grocery a little too. So what I want to talk about today are money leaks in our budget. So where I'm coming from, this is assuming that you already have an idea of how much money you have coming in versus how much money you have going out. And let's assume this episode is for those who either are upside down or you don't have enough for a certain area, right? So let's identify money leaks. Okay. Money leaks are just places where there's money that either you have forgotten about that you're spending, things that are taking your money, your hard-earned money away from you. It could also even be a habit that you have that is really just a leak in your budget. Okay. So let's jump into that today. One thing, so I brought up grocery, right? I brought up grocery, and one way to help you kind of stop that leak with grocery is meal planning. Meal planning. So how many of you, when you get home from work, then you try to figure out what you're going to make for dinner? Or probably about midday to 3 o'clock at work, you're trying to think, what should I make for dinner? And how many times have you either started something and you realize you were missing something that you needed? And hey, if you can improvise, go for it, right? Improvise. Or leave it out. Is it even necessary? Is it something that can be left out? But that's not the point. The point is, how many times have you had to do that? Or you have to run and go get something that's missing, or send somebody to go get something that's missing? How many times did you forget to take something out that needed to be thawed so that you could prepare? How many times have you been too tired to even think about cooking, and therefore you eat out or you order carry out, which is astronomical in price, right? And so a really big money leak in households, especially larger households, because there are so many people, could be your grocery. And meal planning actually can help cut that down, because you already have a plan. You may have already prepped. You already know now, okay, here's what I'm getting for breakfast. Here's what we have to eat for breakfast. When my daughters were younger, I used to pre-make breakfast bowls. It was, I forget who came out with like breakfast bowls. Or actually, I do remember it was actually something you could buy frozen at the supermarket. And I probably bought them one time, saw what was in it, saw which ones they liked, and I started making them myself. I would get the potatoes, I'd get the country gravy, I'd get the sausage, I already have eggs, whatever was in there. I just came up with it myself and stuck it in the freezer. I used to do breakfast bowls. I used to do breakfast burritos, pre-make ahead of time, put them in the freezer. All I had to do was pop it in the microwave and it was ready to go, right? But all I'm saying is, what is it that you will need for breakfast? I don't care if it's something like that. I don't care if it's cereal. Plan out, here are the things that I'm getting for breakfast. Lunch might be taken care of by the school already. You may be packing a lunch. What is it that you need for your lunches each day? Are you trying to watch your intake of certain things, and there are certain things you want to increase? Are you trying to up your protein, up your fiber? Do you need to pre-pack some salads? Do you want to just do some type of protein shake and make sure you have snacks? Whatever it is that you need. But the dinner, I think the dinner time is the one that's crucial, because that comes at the end of the day. Depending on your schedule, you already are exhausted. You have already done a lot. You've already done a lot today, right? You have already gotten ready, gotten to work, worked all day. Let's not talk about the commute you probably have if you work outside of the home. If you work from home, that doesn't mean you're not working. There's this misconception that because you work from home that you're not working. You are just as exhausted. You're just as exhausted mentally, The only thing you have eliminated working from home is the commute. But if you are working from home for a company, I'll be clear, because if you are an entrepreneur, of course, you can set up your own schedule, right? But if you're working for a corporation, not so much, depending on your position. So meal planning could really help you plug up some money leaks in your budget. So if you have never looked into it or tried it, try it. Try it for 1 week. Try it for 1 week. I talked about taking inventory of your finances. Take inventory of your pantry. Take inventory of your freezer. What is it that you have? There's probably some stuff in there you need to get rid of soon. What can I do with this? What can I make with this? How can I use this up? And make a plan for the week. Try for just 1 week and see what you think. But it's definitely an area where you could cut down on some money leaks that you have. Other ways you can, just to come up with a little bit more money, is sell stuff. Sell some stuff. Sell some stuff on Marketplace. There's other platforms too where you can sell things, whether it's clothes or items in your garage or your basement. But there are things I'm sure that you have laying around the house collecting dust that you do not use, you do not need. If it's broken, so get rid of it. Get rid of it. It's broken. Get it out of there. If it's broken, but it's something that maybe someone could use for parts, sell it. Sell it, right? And so then that's just probably money you could bring in just to have some extra, maybe go on a savings account, maybe to pay something off. But really right now, with the way all these prices are, and they just keep going up, and they're not going to magically fall back down. So it's crucial. It is crucial to, one, have your budget, and two, to stick to it. Stick to the budget. And now here we are trying to find those leaks in the budget. The budget also is important because you want to always be keeping an eye on your accounts. You want to be sure you are tracking somehow, whether you're writing it down, if you're using an app, but you want to track, because other money leaks in your budget will come from fees, unnecessary bank fees. So another thing that I want to make sure you are aware of, because I know personally I've gotten to a point of many of my money decisions are like on autopilot. And then if I do something different, sometimes I incur some type of fee because I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Forgot. Your bank or credit union or your fintech, whoever you are banking with right now, there is a fee schedule. You need to be aware of that fee schedule so that you do not incur unnecessary fees. Banks profit a lot. Banks and credit unions, I should just say financial institutions, they profit a lot off of bank fees. A bank fee would be an overdraft fee, an account maintenance fee, just to name a couple, right? Those are the most common. Overdraft, NSF, didn't maintain a certain balance. You incurred a maintenance fee because you didn't do these 4 things to avoid it. I'm sure you've seen that. You didn't have X amount direct deposit. You didn't do X amount of debit transactions, so on and so forth, right? And so be familiar with how your accounts work. Because there's just no point in paying these fees. Now, if you incur a fee and it's not, it's not something, it's not like you're incurring a bunch of them, right? You're not getting a bunch of fees all the time. Let me say that too, all the time. But if you are like now, maybe you're making some changes, some shifts, moving some things around, and it's your first fee, you can ask your bank or credit union if they would, as a courtesy, refund it for you. And they may do that. They may do that, especially if it's your first time getting a fee, or if something happened that should not have happened. Um, I'll use myself as an example. I recently had a charge uh, that should not have charged. And since I budget to the penny, this charge hit the account and then it caused an overdraft because I didn't have the money in the bank for it. I already had taken all the money out. And so as I shared prior, some things I do envelopes for, some things I don't. But in this particular situation, I had taken all the money out. I was not anticipating anything to hit the account, and it did, right? And so then it overdrafts me. I get a like $45 fee. I'm like, I'm not paying this. Like, this is my money. I work hard for my money. I'm about to call the bank. I think I ended up just sending like a chat message or whatever because I can communicate through my app. And I explain what happened. Like, hey, I'm in contact with such and such vendor, and they're going to reverse that fee. I'd like to request that this overdraft fee be reversed because they shouldn't have charged me. And they reversed it. And then of course that charge was refunded. So it all lined up, right? So keep in mind, I mean, you have a relationship with this financial institution. Be sure it's a good relationship, right? Take care of your accounts. Don't have a ton of overdrafts. That's not a good look when you need something like a loan or credit card. Sometimes all an institution has to go off of, especially if you don't have a lot of credit, is how you manage your checking account. So be sure that you are tracking things, and you aren't, incurring any unnecessary fees like what I mentioned. Something else to look at would be subscriptions, streaming services. When you did your inventory of your accounts, how many subscriptions did you find that you're not even using or you forgot about? Maybe you forgot you even had the subscription. I found one recently, actually. I signed up for a trial to see if I'm like, do I even really need all these extra features? Marketing does what it's supposed to do. It convinced me that this might make things easier if I have this pro version, right? I think I had that. I think I used it, and then I haven't used it since. And I believe I've had it for 3 months. And I found it last week, and I canceled it as soon as I found it. It was $15 a month, but they've made $45 off of me. And I'm like, I don't even use it. So do you have any subscriptions that you forgot about or you don't use? Are you doing meal kit services that now that you're considering meal prep, do you still need it? So things like that. Streaming. These things go up, every 3-4 months? Are you even watching the streaming services? One thing that I tend to do, I think I have about one that I will keep all year, but the others, we're not even watching them. We're not even at home, and I'll cancel them until summer. No one's watching, no one's using them. You guys are just charging, and no one is watching a thing on them. Like I said, with the exception to maybe for me personally, there's like one that I probably use all the time. The others, like I said, nobody's home. Everybody's at class, at work, at practice. No one's using these services. So is that your situation? Is it something that you could pull back from certain months, but start them up again in the summer? Yeah, they'll say, oh, you're going to lose your price. It's going to go up anyway. It's not like we're grandfathered into streaming subscriptions. So, what about subscriptions and streaming services? So, then here's one that could be a leak. I'm going to say coffee, buying your coffee out every day. At all the, there's so many now, and I don't want to name any of them, but there's so many drink shops, I'll just say. Are you going to get coffee or protein shakes or energy drinks? Everybody's marketing them now. Are you getting one every day? Can you cut back and, dare I say, make it at home? Could you make your coffee at home? What about saving up and investing in one of those really nice single serve type coffee makers or something? Look, I couldn't even tell you what it is because I use stuff until it breaks, and I still have a drip coffee maker. So I don't even have a Keurig. I don't even have a Keurig because my drip coffee maker still works. And when it stops to work, I'll look at something else. I've used all the other things somewhere else, but look, if it still works, I'm not getting a new one. That's just me. But dare I say, what if you made it at home? How much does that coffee maker cost for you to buy it one time? Add up how much it costs when you pay $7 every day for your coffee or your protein shake or your energy drink. How much is that costing you every day? I know for coffee alone, the coffee is cheaper if you buy it at the store, even if you're getting it at the grocery store. Now, if you get it at a bulk store, it's even cheaper and it's going to last you longer, but that's going to save you. Now you can get your syrups, all that stuff that they do to it to make you feel like you're really doing something you can't do at home. You can get those syrups. You can get the cold foam. You can get the whipped topping. You can get all that at the store and make it your own. Set yourself up a little coffee bar at the house. So just, trying to help give some ideas and other ways to just get rid of some of the money leaks that may be in your budget. Another idea, this isn't necessarily a money leak specific, but it may just be why you are leaking money in your budget. How many have you have heard of a spending freeze? And a spending freeze is just what it is, just what the words say. You freeze your spending, and you can, I would probably do it for a week to try it, right? Are you able to go a whole week without spending money? If that seems challenging, start with a day. If you've never, I think it's fair to say, if you've never done one before, I challenge you to do a spending freeze for a day. What could that look like? That could look like I said, you made your coffee at home. You took your lunch. You have food at home, so you don't need to buy anything for dinner. Things like that. So challenge yourself to not spend for a whole day and see how you do. But that could be a money leak too, just, not planning, not being prepared, allowing fatigue to win, allowing convenience to win instead of having a plan. I know I'm going to want X, Y, and Z type of snacks. I'm going to go ahead and plan a meal. I'm going to plan meals for the whole week. I'm going to take my lunch this week. I'm going to make my coffee at home this week. And you'd be surprised at the savings. You can actually predict those savings in advance because you know how much you spend on average for those things, right? So these are some ideas and ways to free up money, maybe that then can be recategorized and given a new purpose in your spending plan. So gas is high. I know personally, I need to up my gas budget about $50 a month to accommodate these high prices. These prices is nothing like I've ever seen in my life in the region of the country that I'm in. So, finding areas where you can cut back and save or eliminate some cost, cancel some of those subscriptions, start eating at home. Shoot, I don't know how you grew up eating, but half the food at the restaurant's not that good anyway. I mean, I'm just saying, if I'm paying $60 for some food, it needs to be really good. So eat at home. Make your coffee at home. Cancel that subscription. Cancel that streaming service that I probably just recently emailed you telling you they're about to hike up the price. Or try not to spend. Try not to spend anything. And then the other thing I was saying, and sell something. You might have some things you can sell. So just some quick things to think about and getting rid of any money leaks. Because right now, I'm trying to help you go from, since you have some clarity around your budget, around your situation, now it's time to get control, a little bit more control over it, right? I know we can't control things that happen in our lives. I know we can't control things or people around us, but you can have a little control over your money. And you should. You should. This gives you an opportunity, like I said, find those areas, repurpose that money. If it's for gas, cool. If you want to invest it because you want to up the amount in your investments or get to a certain balance by a certain date, hey, now you freed up some ways to do that. When we make these adjustments, keep in mind that I'm not saying this is how you have to live forever. That's not what I'm saying at all. Oftentimes, when we have a goal, we have to do some things a little differently in order to achieve that goal. And so that's really more where I'm coming from. If you have a certain goal with your finances, you may need to tweak some things. If you can just go out and get another job to make more money, maybe that would be an option for you. If you can't, maybe you need to cut back on some things. Even if you're not in any dire, financial challenge, you still may need to cut back on some things because with the way things are going today, even if you feel like, well, usually I'm okay. Well, despite where you are, I'm sure you're still feeling the pinch of all that's happening around us. I know people who are doing fine, but they still see what's happening and nobody wants to pay more. I don't care how much money you have. Once you have gotten used to something being a certain amount, it doesn't feel good that now it costs more because you're getting the same thing or less for more. So again, these are some things to think about and remember. It's temporary. Some of it's temporary. Some of it is going to be permanent. Some of these things, the prices are not going to go down. But some of it is just temporary. You're temporarily doing a spending freeze. I'm not saying never, you can't not ever spend money, right? So it would be a temporary thing to achieve a goal. I'm not saying never eat out, but you might temporarily pause eating out to achieve a goal. I didn't say you will never buy coffee, protein drinks, or energy drinks at your favorite establishment, but temporarily, it could be beneficial to pause that and take that money and either save it, take that money, invest it, take that money, put it in your grocery bucket, take that money, put it in your gas bucket, whatever your budget is calling for, because everybody's is different. So I hope that gives you something to think about until next week. So let me know, drop a comment, and let me know where maybe you found a leak in your budget when it comes to money. Or let me know, I would love to know if you are going to try or you have tried one of these ideas in identifying. Let me know if you're going to do meal planning and meal prep. I need to get back into it myself. I do it a little, but be a great topic to just be realistic about things that are happening, knowing your own capacity and what you can and you can't do right now. So I used to be able to, every Sunday, I was cooking, prepping, washing, chopping, all of that. Well, there has been a lot of change and a lot of events, things that have come up that take my energy where I don't have energy or desire to do that. I'm not saying I don't ever want to do it, but right now I don't, or I can't. I just don't have it. I don't have the energy to do it. And so just being realistic about those things. Tap in a little deeper with yourself. Think about, here's what I need. Here are the things I need to get done. How am I going to do it? That doesn't mean that one night a week you may still have to eat out. That's okay. Because even cutting it down to one night a week is better than 3 or 4, right? And so celebrate those small wins. This will never be something that you will do perfectly. But I really just want to encourage you to think about it as a whole picture, right? So it's involving your money, yes, but there's other life areas that you have to think about that impact your money and your decision making. So that's all I have this time. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, like and subscribe, comment. Would love to hear what you all think so far. But until next time, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be back next Monday.